Welcome all in class 29 on electromagnetic theory. In this class, we will discuss to analyze the rectangular waveguide. While analyzing the rectangular waveguide, we will calculate the strength of electrical field and strength of magnetic field at various locations in the waveguide when electromagnetic signal propagates through the waveguide. So, in order to start the process of analyzing the waveguide, consider a waveguide made of four conducting walls. These conducting walls are placed at x is equal to 0, at x is equal to a. Similarly, at y is equal to 0 and y is equal to b. The material inside these conducting walls is air. Let us suppose the length of the waveguide towards x direction is a and length of the waveguide toward y direction is b. The entered electromagnetic signals travel in z direction through a process that is called total internal reflection. So, as wave is propagating inside the waveguide and the material inside the waveguide is air, so the Maxwell's equations, that is Faraday's equations and Ampere's equation for the wave propagating in waveguide is given by that the Faraday's law is curl of E is equal to minus curly B upon curly T, which can be written as minus J mu omega into H. Similarly, Ampere's law is given by curl of H is equal to conduction current density plus displacement current density, which is equal to conductivity into electrical field plus J mu no epsilon naught omega into E. Now the conductivity of air is 0. So for the space inside the conductor, the Ampere's law can be written as curl of H is equal to J epsilon naught omega into E, because the conductivity of free space is 0. Now elaborating this Faraday's law and Ampere's law using determinant, we can obtain that curl of E when expanded for rectangular coordinate system having ax, ay, az as unit vector, del written as curly upon curly x, curly upon curly y, curly upon curly z, and E written as ex, ey, ez, it is equal to minus j mu omega, and again H is written as hx ax plus hy ay plus hz az, where H is the magnetic field intensity and hx hy hz represents the component of magnetic field strength along x direction, y direction and z direction. So when determinant is expanded, then equating the ax unit vector with ax unit vector, ay with ay and az with az, we will obtain three equations which are curly ez upon curly y minus curly ey upon curly z is equal to minus of j omega mu into hx. Similarly, for ay we will have curly upon curly x of ez minus curly upon curly z of ex is equal to minus j mu omega into hy, and similarly for equation 3. Again, by expanding curl of h is equal to j epsilon naught omega into E, we will obtain further three equations, which are curly hz upon curly y minus curly hy upon curly z is equal to j epsilon naught omega ex, and these are 4, 5 and 6 equations. Also from the wave equation for free space we have del square E is equal to gamma square into E, and similarly for H field we have del square H is equal to gamma square into H, where gamma is the propagation constant. And for free space we can have these equations of wave propagation, that del square E is equal to minus mu naught epsilon naught omega square into E, and del square H is equal to minus mu naught epsilon naught omega square into H, and this equation has been derived in lecture 27. So if our electrical field is Ez, then it will be both on both sides it will be Ez. So if we represent these wave equations in differential form, then del square E can be written as curly square Ez upon curly x square plus curly square Ez upon curly y square plus curly 2 Ez upon curly z square is equal to minus mu epsilon naught omega square into Ez. And similarly the equation 8 can be expanded as curly square hz upon curly x square plus curly square hz upon curly y square plus curly square hz upon curly z square, which is minus mu naught epsilon naught omega square into hz. Now from our previous discussion, it is well known fact that wave is propagating in z direction. So every component, that is Ex, Ey, Ez, similarly Hx, Hy, Hz, we can assume that these all components are varying with respect to z direction. So as wave is propagating along z direction, so all field component can be expressed in form e raised to power minus gamma z, where gamma is the propagation constant and z is the distance with respect to z direction. Gamma here is propagation constant. So Ex, Ey, Ez, Hx, Hy, Hz can be written in terms of e raised to power minus gamma z in the form that Ex is equal to Ex naught into e raised to power minus gamma z, where Ex naught is the value of Ex at z is equal to 0, and at z is equal to 0 Ex naught is a function of x and y. So if we take differentiation of Ex with respect to z direction, we can write it into the form that it is equal to minus gamma into Ex. Similarly, Ey can be written as Ey naught into e raised to power minus pz. Similarly, Ez can be written as Ez naught into e raised to power minus gamma z, where Ex naught, Ey naught, Ez naught represents the values of the electrical field in x direction, y direction, z direction at z is equal to 0, and Ex naught, Ey naught, Ez naught are functions of x and y. Similarly, we can write the equations Hx, Hy, Hz, that is they are again varying with respect to z direction. So by using that, by putting the values of fields with respect to z direction. For example, in equation number 1 we have curly ez upon curly y minus curly ey upon curly z. Now curly ey upon curly z, curly ey upon curly z will come out to be minus of z into ey. Now putting the differentiations with respect to curly z in equation from 1 to 6, we obtain that from equation 1 we obtain that curly ez upon curly y minus, in spite of curly ey upon curly z, we are putting it to be equal to minus gamma of ey is equal to minus h mu omega hx. So this is the value that we are obtaining after putting the values of derivatives with respect to curly ez, curly z. So by putting curly upon curly z in equation 1 to 6, we obtain equation from 9 to 14. Now we have obtained equation from 9 to 14. Now ultimately our aim is to find the ex, ey, ez, similarly hx, hy, hz with respect to distance z, that is the propagating distance. So in order to derive ex, ey, ez, hx, hy, hz, first of all we are finding ex, ey as well as hx, hy in terms of ez and hz components. That is, ex is found in terms of ez, ey is found in terms of ez and hz components. Similarly, hx is found in terms of ez and hz component. Similarly, hy is found in terms of ez and hz components. Then we will find the values of ez and hz, and after deriving the value of ez and hz components, every value, that is ex, ey, hx, hy can be calculated. In order to find ex, ey as well as hx, hy in terms of ez and hz, we are rearranging the equations. That is, from equation 12 we are finding the value of hy, which comes out to be 1 upon gamma into j epsilon naught omega ex minus curly hz upon curly y, and we are putting this value of hy in equation 10. In equation 10 we are putting the value of hy that has been derived from equation 12. So after putting the value of hy in equation 10, we obtain that curly ex plus curly ez upon curly x is equal to minus mu omega 1 upon gamma epsilon naught omega ex minus j mu omega 1 upon gamma curly hz upon curly y. Now separating ez and hz terms on one side and finding the value of ex, we obtain that ex is equal to minus j mu 1 upon k square curly hz upon curly y minus gamma k square into curly ez upon curly x, where k is a constant whose value is k gamma square plus mu square epsilon naught into mu. We have put this value to be equal to k square, and ultimately we find it ex in terms of hz and Ez. Similarly, after putting the value of hx in equation 9, we and separating Ez and hz components on one side, we will obtain Ey, and the obtained Ey component in terms of Ez and hz is j mu omega 1 upon k square curly hz upon curly x minus gamma upon k square curly Ez upon curly y. Similarly, by substituting Ey in equation 13, so we have just derived the value of Ey after putting this in equation 13. This was equation 13. After putting the value of Ey here in terms of Ez and Hz, we can find Hx. So the value of Hx that we obtained from here is J epsilon naught omega by k square into curly Ez upon curly y minus curly hz upon curly x into gamma upon k square. Similarly, we can obtain the value of hy in terms of Ez and hz components. So value of hy is minus curly hz upon curly y gamma upon k square minus j epsilon naught omega into gamma upon k square into curly Ez upon curly x. So up to now we have derived Ex, Ey, Hx, Hy in terms of Ez and Hz values. Now when wave propagates into waveguide, it is no longer a transverse electromagnetic wave. It is either TE wave or it is either TM mode. So in case of TM mode, transverse magnetic mode, the magnetic field component is always perpendicular to the direction of propagation of wave. So for TM wave, if we say that wave is propagating in z direction, so as magnetic field is always perpendicular in TM mode, the magnetic field is always perpendicular to the direction of propagation. So there cannot be any component of magnetic field in the direction of propagation. As direction of propagation is z direction, so for TM mode there is no component of hz in the direction of propagation. That is, for TM mode, Ez will always be equal to 0. For transverse electrical mode, the Ez component will be equal to 0. So first we are finding the values of electrical field and magnetic field in a waveguide for TM mode. For TM mode, we have already concluded that Hz is always equal to 0, and Ez, as we discussed earlier, can be expressed as Ez naught into e raised to power minus gamma z, where gamma was the propagation constant and Ez naught is the value of Ez at z is equal to 0. At z is equal to 0, Ez naught is function of x and y. So if we take curly Ez upon curly z, it can be written as minus gamma Ez, and if we take its double differentiation, it can be written as gamma square into Ez. Now by putting the value of Ez, because for TM wave we have already found that Hz is always 0, then we will find what is the Ez component. Then after finding the Ez component, we can find Ex, Ey and Hx, Hy, because we have already derived Ex, Ey, Hx, Hy in terms of Ez and Hz components. So the wave equation for free space that we have already discussed, this was the wave equation for free space. So wave equation for free space, that is material inside the waveguide, can be written as curly 2 Ez upon curly x square plus curly 2 Ez upon curly y square and curly 2 Ez upon curly z square we are writing as gamma square into Ez. So can be written as gamma square into Ez, which is equal to mu naught epsilon naught omega square Ez. Now by just rearranging the terms, we obtain that gamma square plus mu square epsilon naught omega square into Ez is equal to 0. We have already assumed that this factor is a constant, which we have written as k square, because here gamma, which is the propagation constant for free space, will be same, mu naught will be constant, epsilon naught will be constant, particular frequency omega will be constant, that is they are neither changing with time nor changing with space. So we can assume that this is a constant. So after putting this, we obtain that curly 2 Ez upon curly x square plus curly 2 Ez upon curly y square plus k square into Ez is equal to 0. And similarly we obtain wave equation for magnetic field. Now again we know that Ez is Ez naught into e raised to power minus gamma z, where Ez naught is a function of x and y. So differentiating Ez naught with respect to curly x will give y into, because y is taken as constant, curly x upon curly x, curly 2 Ez naught upon curly x square will be y into curly 2x upon curly x square. Similarly, if we differentiate Ez naught with respect to y, we will obtain curly 2 Ez naught upon curly y square is equal to y into curly 2y upon curly y square. So if we put these values, that is differentiation with respect to x and y, in equation 7 that we have already found, for in equation 24 that we have already found, we will obtain that curly 2 Ez upon curly x square can be written as y curly 2 x upon x square plus y curly 2 y upon curly y square plus k square into, in spite of Ez, we are writing Ez naught into e raised to power minus gamma z, where Ez naught is x of y. So that is, here we are getting two terms. First term, which is y curly 2 x upon curly x square plus y curly 2 y upon curly y square plus k square xy multiplied by e raised to power minus yz, which is equal to 0. So this term cannot be equal to 0 here. So this term is equal to 0. So while we are writing this term, so here we have done one mistake, that in spite of y, capital Y here, it is a function of, if we see these equation, curly 2 Ez upon curly x square is y curly 2 y upon curly x square. So it is by mistake here. So ultimately you just solve this equation and you will get that if we divide on both sides with respect to xy, we will obtain 1 upon x curly 2x upon curly x square plus 1 upon y into curly 2y upon curly y square plus k square is equal to 0. So now here we have three terms. So k here is constant. So if you add some terms out of these, this one is constant. So this whole term can be equal to 0 if the first two terms are also constant. So that is, we can say that, let us suppose 1 upon x curly 2x upon curly x square is a constant whose value is minus kx square, and the second term, which is 1 upon y curly 2y upon y square, is again a constant whose value is minus ky square. Or after rearranging these equation, 1 upon x curly 2x upon curly x square plus x square kx square is equal to 0. Similarly, 1 upon y curly 2y upon curly y square plus ky square is equal to 0. So after putting these values of kx square and ky square into this equation, we obtain that minus kx square minus ky square plus k square is equal to 0. The value of k that we have already discussed is equal to k gamma square plus mu naught epsilon naught into omega square is equal to 0. So now let us suppose the value of, we have to find what is x and what is y. We know that E z naught was, we have taken multiplied by xy. Now these are differential equations. These two are differential equations whose general solution can be obtained by using differential theorems is of form that capital X is a1 cos kx into x plus a2 sin kx into x. Similarly, capital Y is from second equation, that is from 1 upon y curly 2y upon curly y square plus ky square is equal to 0. The general solution of y is, let us suppose it is a3 cos ky into y plus a4 sin ky into y. So we have obtained the general solution of x and y, and now we know that E z naught is x multiplied by y. So E z naught will be of this form. Now from here we have to calculate the values of constants a1, a2, a3, a4. So we can find we will find their solution of a1, a2, a3, a4 by using the boundary conditions, because at the boundary of a conductor the electrical field is always 0 if a conductor is placed in along xy plane. So the ex component as well as ey component as well as exy component on the conductor will be equal to 0, because if there are some charges on a conductor, then they will try to neutralize each other, and on the surface of the conductor the electrical field will be 0. Let us suppose we are calculating the boundary conditions of electrical field of our waveguide. Now our waveguide is as shown in the slide. So it has four conducting walls. So from these, on these conducting walls, the net electrical field will be 0. Tangential component of electrical field will be 0. That is, if we say about this surface lies in xz plane, and similarly exactly below this surface again lies in xz plane, with the condition that lower surface is for y is equal to 0 and upper surface is at y is equal to b. So in xz plane, the ex as well as ez will be equal to 0. There may be some y component of electrical field, but ex and hz at y is equal to 0 and at y is equal to b will be equal to 0. Similarly, for x is equal to 0 and x is equal to a, at x is equal to a, the surface lies in yz plane. So if the surface lies in yz plane, so the ey as well as ez will be 0 at x is equal to 0 as well as at x is equal to a. Now applying these boundary conditions, that is applying boundary conditions at x is equal to 0, ez naught will be equal to 0. Now if we put ez naught equal to 0 at x is equal to 0, from here we will obtain that a1 will be equal to 0, because at x is equal to 0 this term becomes 0 and we are left with two terms, that is a1 cos kx into x into second term. At x is equal to 0, then cos of theta will become 1, that is either a1 is 0 or this whole term is equal to 0. As whole term cannot be equal to 0, so we are left with the option that a1 is equal to 0. Similarly, at y is equal to 0, ez naught is again equal to 0 and from here we obtain that a3 is equal to 0. So when a1 and a3 is equal to 0, we are left with aj2, which is a2 sin kxx into a4 sin ky into y. At x is equal to a, ez naught is again equal to 0. At x is equal to a, ez naught is equal to 0. So if we put x is equal to a, it is a general case, so we can say that these two terms, out of these two terms one is 0, so this general term cannot be equal to 0 because it contains y. So we conclude that sine of kx into a is equal to 0 or kx is equal to plus minus m pi by a. Similarly, from condition y is at y is equal to b, ez naught is equal to 0 or sine of kx into b is equal to 0. So we obtain the value of constant ky to be equal to plus minus n pi by b. So the general solution of ez naught, which was x into y, and we have obtained the values of constant a1, a2, a3, a4. So general solution of ez naught is a sine of m pi by a into x into sine of n pi by b into b. So gamma square, which was kx square plus ky square minus omega square mu e, can be written as, because kx we have already found it to be plus minus m pi by a plus n pi by b for ky minus omega square mu b. So ultimately the value of gamma we have obtained is this one. Now gamma can be written as alpha plus j beta, and in case of no attenuation, the value of alpha should be equal to 0, and for this value to be equal to 0, it will be gamma will be equal to 0 when m pi by a square plus n pi by b square is equal to omega square into epsilon naught into mu, or from here the frequency comes out to be 1 upon 2 pi upon epsilon naught root of mu into epsilon naught into square root of m pi by a square plus n pi by b square. So it is this frequency of electromagnetic signal for which the waveguide will not provide any attenuation. So similarly we have already found that Ez0 is this one. Ez0 we have already derived it to be a sine 2 pi by a into x into sine n pi by b into y. The value of Ez will be found by using Ez0 into e raised to power minus gamma z. So for this Tm mode, we have already found that Hz is 0 and Ez we have already derived. Now after we derived Ez, we can find Ex, Ey, Hx, Hy from the relations that we have already found in terms of Ez and Hz components. This is how we have to find the various Ex, Ey, Hx, Hy, Ez, Hz components for the Tm mode in case of waveguide. For TE mode, as we have already discussed, that Ez will be equal to 0. So it is required to evaluate Ez by considering that Hz is equal to Hz0 into e raised to power minus gamma z, where Hz0 is a function of x and y. In order to find boundary conditions for magnetic field, we require surface currents on the walls of conductor, but we do not know surface currents on the walls of conductor. So we apply boundary conditions for electrical field. That is, in order to apply boundary conditions for electrical field, we convert Hz into Ex, Ey by using the expression that we already derived and apply these conditions to calculate the value of Hz. Once we find Ez and Hz, we can derive Ey as well as Ex, similarly Hx and Hz components. So this was all in this lecture that we want to discuss. Thank you.